Here are 50 old-fashioned frugal living tips to try today. Turn the TV off. Consider having time off for the TV to save on electricity and spend the time on more meaningful activities like improving your skills and learning a new hobby. Cook at home from scratch. Cooking is a great way to cut food expenses. This can limit your spending on eating out, which is not a frugal way to live. Cooking at home is also healthier because you can control ingredients like salt and sugar. Eat at home. Eating outside should only be occasional since restaurant food is pricey. Although there are cheaper alternatives, they are still considerably less nutritious. Try to eat at home and consume home-cooked meals as much as you can to save money. Look up simple recipes. Considering that you are going to eat a lot at home and cook from scratch, look for easy recipes. Now that you have the internet, plenty of one-pot recipes, which are easy to make and delicious, are available. Don't waste any leftovers. If you live alone or miscalculated the amount of food to cook for the family, don't throw leftovers away. Always keep your leftovers in the fridge and have them as the next meal. Eat it as is, or you can even spice it up to make it a new dish. Wear an apron when preparing food. Have you noticed that your parents and grandparents always cook with an apron? Oil and food stains are a nightmare to remove, and they consume a lot of time. Save yourself the scrubbing by wearing an apron. It will even be better if it's waterproof. Switch up your diet for more greens. Meat back then and even now is expensive because its price tends to fluctuate. Consider cutting out meat and swapping it for healthier greens. Drink water. A significant expense we may not notice is sodas, coffees, and other drinks. Bring your water wherever you're going to avoid the health and wallet scare. Make coffee at home. If you can't see yourself abandoning coffee, why don't you make it yourself? Instead of paying an amount for a cup of coffee, buy some beans in your brewing machine. Learn some baking skills. If you love eating sweets, make them yourself. Have your parents or the internet teach you. Maximize the use of your oven as well. Eat more filling foods. Fill your diet with filling foods like beans, lentils, potatoes, and corn. They keep you fuller even in small amounts and for an extended time. Use the items you have. If you don't have certain ingredients required for the recipe, try swapping them out with the next best thing. However, do add alternative ingredients moderately and taste what you're cooking to avoid wasting food later. Reuse old containers. A staple item you might see at your grandparents' home is recycled jars and containers. Not only are they better for the environment, but containers like glass jars are also more hygienic than plastic. Buy in bulk. Be careful with this one. Only bulk buy the food that you can eat. Also, always check for their expiry date and how you can store them to prolong their shelf life. Have a small farm garden. Nothing is more old-fashioned than growing your food. Don't worry if you don't have any experience. And start with easy ones like potatoes or herbs. Consider preserving any extra food. Don't waste your money by throwing out food. Look up information on how to preserve them through canning, making preserves, or making fruit jams. Bake your own bread. Instead of buying them from bakeries, look up how to make them yourself. This is especially useful for people who like to eat bread as a meal and snack. Do the home improvements yourself. Old-fashioned people have a do-it-yourself mentality. If you want a wall painted or a change in bathroom tiles, research to see if you can DIY it to save on labor cost. But if you don't think you can do it, leave it to the professionals. Never have an empty pantry. Having an empty pantry can mean impromptu grocery trips where you buy more than you need, or it can mean eating out. Always keep your pantry stocked with staples to prevent sudden trips to the store. Avoid name brands if you can. Buying generic brands is not as bad as you think, especially when it comes to quality. Recently, supermarkets have even come out with their own cheaper lines as alternatives. These generic items are as good as name brands but aren't as expensive. Downsize your property. If you genuinely want to live frugally, think about getting a smaller house or property so you use less energy and spend less on general expenses, like maintenance and repairs. Use reusable cloth products. Ditch the disposable paper towels and buy reusable ones like microfiber wipes. They last a long time and are washable, saving you more money for not having to buy single-use paper towels. Exercise at home. Instead of paying money on gym fees, exercising at home is just as effective and it's free. With things like YouTube, you can even bring the gym to you and learn different workout routines. Try sewing. Sewing is an important life skill that can save you dollars. Watch tutorials and learn basic sewing techniques that you can use on your next sewing project. Mend clothes yourself. Another old-fashioned frugal way of living is mending clothes by oneself. This will prevent you from discarding a clothing item that you can still use. It will also save you money for not hiring a professional to do it for you. Make your clothes and cloth items. While this is a more advanced form of sewing, you might be surprised at how much you can save by making your own clothes. You can buy inexpensive fabric to make things like skirts, shirts, and curtains. It's also an excellent hobby and pastime. Dry laundry under the sun. Instead of hiking up your electricity and gas bills by using the dryer, use the all-natural solution offered by outdoor air and sun. Do your laundry on a sunny day. You can also wash your clothes early in the morning so you can get the most of the sun's power for your clothes. Watch out your thermostat settings. You can save up to 10% on cooling and heating annually by adjusting your thermostat. Set it back 7 to 10 degrees Fahrenheit for 8 hours daily. Adjust it before leaving for work and before going to bed daily. See how much you'll save on your electric bill. Empty those tubes. Use every last drop of things in tubes like toothpaste, face wash, and moisturizers. You can use a toothpaste squeezer or cut the product packaging in half to scoop out what's left before discarding its container. Use scrap paper. Use the back and front of it as scratch paper. You can use it for small reminders and lists or give them to toddlers for drawing and scribbling. Use one light bulb at a time. Instead of using your mood or side lights, it is better to have a big bright light to illuminate the room. If you use LED lights, you can save a lot more on electricity. Choose simple and free entertainment. There are plenty of ways to have fun without breaking the bank. You can play board games with the family or walk at the park for entertainment. Use cash instead of debit or credit cards to avoid debt and better track of your spending. Save for things you want to buy instead of impulsively buying them. If you find something you want to buy, save for it and buy it next time when you have enough cash. Trim your hair. As long as it's nothing extra, trim your hair at home to save money. Ask a family member to do it if you don't feel confident enough to do it yourself. Don't keep things you don't need. Clutter can take up a lot of space and make you forget things you already have, then buy double off. Either sell clutter in a garage sale or give it to someone who needs it. Learn some basic car maintenance, and fixes car mechanic fees can get pricey. Learn how to maintain your car's good condition and do basic fixes that will definitely save you money. Give handmade gifts. These can be soaps, candles, or knitted things. Handmade gifts are not only more personal, but cost way less to make and give. Swap or barter for things. If you have items you no longer need, you can place a listing online for things you want to trade them with. This way, you and the other person can repurpose the item and avoid discarding it. Shop at thrift stores. Thrift shops were popular even back in the day. You can find plenty of good price pieces in these stores and flea markets. Shop at them to save money. Invest in classic pieces. For special occasions, invest in classic pieces you can still use over time, unlike fad fashion pieces which glamour fades after the trend fades away. Don't be swayed by trends. If you like a particular piece from a trend, always imagine if you can see yourself wearing or using it a few years later. You can also use this logic for home improvements, appliances, and impulse buys. Try some natural remedies. If you feel sick, try out some home remedies like ginger honey tea or eating plenty of nutritious food like fruits and vegetables. However, when your symptoms don't fade and persist, pay a visit to your doctor. Buy secondhand items. You'll find slightly used items like furniture, appliances, clothes, bags, and accessories in many places and online. Consider buying secondhand if you need any of those to save money and still use quality items. Walk to your destination if it is a short distance. Instead of taking the bus or using the car, walk to your destination if it isn't that far. This is also a good form of exercise. If you have a bike, you can also ride it to get to your destination. Visit your city library. You can borrow books and spend time in their air-conditioned room to cool off. It's free entertainment and relaxation in one. Try doing things yourself. A similar theme we see here is the DIY movement. If you want a specific item, dish, or improvement, learn how to do it yourself whenever possible. Enjoy the outdoors. Nothing is more therapeutic than taking a calm walk. Take your time to explore parks, walking paths, and the greenery outside our home instead of watching TV. Invest in relationships over material possessions. Instead of spending money on things you may not even need, invest in your relationships and spend quality time with loved ones. Do low-cost activities together like a picnic or hiking. Be content with what you have. The best old-fashioned tip out there is to be content with the things you have. Living with this mindset can ultimately save you a lot of money for not having to keep up with the trends and buy the latest gadgets. If you like this video, consider giving us a like and subscribe for more content.